be happy with this. 1K advantage at 6 minutes here.
Should keep in mind that Centaur has hit 6, so Stampede is now available as well.
Okay, that
so
could
this
be
is
big.
this is going to influence the other lanes if initiations happen. I'm almost thinking it could also work for Limp, who just grabs the action rune, Invis rune for him.
Some damage going to Centaur on the bot lane as well.
Zai is way too far out, so yeah, Centaur can take a lot of damage underneath the tower, but when the Razors arrive from Limp, they already did the extra prep work, so Limp's easy rotation under the cover of Invis goes his way.
And 3-3 is going all Caustic Finale. He's maxed out here. Any tap on Moo is going to turn into 110 magic, so...
TP's on the way. It's coL inside the trees. He can get the instant grab onto 33. Moo just needs the hoof stomp to land. He's able to do so with the Fade Fall. And much damage have they got with the Stampede. They will find the kill on bottom lane. Top lane, Pycat's got a homing missile chasing him down. He's got an extra 1 charge to bring himself back up again. And well, okay, well, homing missile never even got its attack. Chessie's been sent back. Rocket barrage damage. Pycat cops a lot.
Jeez.
Not enough to get the kill, and Chessie goes all the way home.
Peter's going to regret that one. I didn't expect Morphling to deal that much damage to the Gyrocopter, but he's got a lot of right clicks. He's got a Treads finished already at 7 minutes here. In a simple Maledict, maybe a stun, and that was a dead Gyro.
They're lane switching. Moo's headed north, and you've got Gyro now, Chessie down on bottom lane against the SK.
This makes a lot of sense. Chessie's got 16 last hits right now. He's kind of getting wrecked in this lane. No Sandstorm for Sand King, so he's got to be a little careful here, but if he does find coL without a stun, he can definitely get a kill.
Moo, Maledict is on him, and already the send back is coming. That's 2 points up for Maledict. They're not going to take the risk. Moo,
is that the right
careful when you double edge.
Yeah.
When you got Maledict on you.
Yeah, it's fine. He did use an infused raindrop charge as a result, but it's ultimately not a big deal.
They've changed the lanes now, so Pycat's now on bottom lane. He actually TP'd pretty shortly after the complexity lane switch. The other lane I'm actually more interested to watch is the fact that now CCNC is almost having his CS doubled by that of the SF. SF always has great catch-ups, but it's 8, almost 9 levels for the Shadow Fiend to the 6.5 of Death Prophet.
Jeez.
Yeah, that lane is just so long the way of Limp.
I mean, he's gotten 26 denies now. This is what happens when Shadow Fiend builds up max souls. He hasn't been ganked at all in this game. He basically got a true 1v1, and of course it's going to be to Death Prophet. Because at some point, he just does double the damage. He has actual double damage rune in terms of damage against Death Prophet.
69 plus 82 compared to the 84 of Death Prophet base.
Maybe Death Prophet should have gone for like more Crypt Swarm levels to be more competitive, but Shadow Fiend wins both fights. He's got better nuke damage and he's better right clicks. So if there's no ganks, CC's going to be better off.
Thinking about having a crack over it. Zai, he needs a little bit of help to make this work. Moo is on the way. He had Stampede available, but didn't just want to back off the top lane.
And both teams are just going to trade Tier 1 towers most likely, although Optic is much better set up for this. And Pycat does a lot of physical damage, so we could see this tower die like right away.
Gyro's already left. In fact, maybe Optic Complexity are hoping that Optic can finish this quickly, so then Complexity can take the fight up on top. But okay, now Limp shows himself. There's no shenanigans. They just want the straight Tier 1 for Tier 1 tower trade.
Yeah, they're going to try to slow this down with the Echo Stomp here, killing the creeps, but...
CCNC.
Dunk. Still level 2 missile.
Value.
Needed 3 hits. And Gyro's still only level 5. This guy's got the levels of a support here. This aggro try, it did not contest the enemy farm very much at all. And it's also cost Gyro a lot in terms of farm and levels.
They're taking so long on this top lane to finish the Tier 1 tower.
Yeah. I mean, the Spirit's coming through from a really safe distance is dealing damage. Their heroes don't necessarily right-click very hard, except for Shadow Fiend, who's now rotated here.
I like how PPD also waits. He's waiting for the 10-minute bounty rune. He gets an aggressive ward down.
Bottom tower is under attack.
The confidence from Peter.
I mean, it's pretty safe for him in a lot of ways, if you think about it.
Until the courier flies right over the top and reveals his position. He starts his own TP, and there's no stun from T-Freak.
200 gold swing from Peter in that moment.
Massive.
It adds up. You know, it's like a kill, kind of. That translates to Rubik getting faster boots.
Bottom lane, Stampede.
Super worth it.
Moo could feel it. Like 33 was coming in for the Burrow Strike, and Pycat would have been able to follow up with the damage.
There's like another place where Centaur just kind of sucks. Like
Limp?
That's his Blink Dagger right
Top
now,
lane?
is Stampede.
Zai, one more raise will do it.
Okay.
Zai walked around the corner. He had no vision on Limb, so it was just close range, medium range, long range raises. And there was no way for that ET to survive.
So despite these like little kills that coL's getting and some of their survives, I still think Optic's pretty happy just because their carry is going to be better in the late game. And Gyro is so far behind. He's about to hit 6. Here it comes.
Z-Freak, gotta get away. Gotta get away so quickly. So Chessie does have that level 6 you're talking about. 33 Burrow strikes through both the Wild Wings. Now we're just trying to farm up a little bit. Homing missile moves forward, moves in the neighborhood. He doesn't have a blink. He's only got the Hood of Defiance, but then again, he's got a Hood of Defiance. He's very difficult to kill. PPD,
no.
the double maledict, the Burrow strike in. No epicenter. The cooldown does very little in the paralyzing cast. It bounces forward towards Moo. He's still got the maledict on him. He will bounce out, tick out from this. PPD finds the kill. And CCNC, Exorcism gets popped, and this will now turn into a lot of pressure into that tier 1.
Optic just putting coL in this terrible position where they chase after Peter, trying to grab the kill. They don't get it. The stomp lands. And during that whole little skirmish, CC dropped ulti. His ulti is actually done now. That's how long ago he turned this thing on.
Yep.
Rotates over at the perfect time. Centaur is just the squishiest guy ever without a blink. I mean, he's got a Hood now, but against Spirit Siphon, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter how much strength he gets. That's just more heal to Death Prophet. So tough position to be in now for coL. Until they get a blink on Centaur, they don't have a great way to start fights.
Kyle's first steal, which could have actually held, would have been the Burrow strike, but he stole the worst ability he could have from SK, which was the level 1 Sandstorm of 33.
Just as he skills it too.
Yeah, and he knew it too. Like he was sitting on top of him. And he's like, do I want to take this? Do I really want this? I suppose I may as well.
It's just so much easier for Sand King to accelerate and farm, because with just Caustic Finale, he can attack each creep really rapidly. He's got Quelling Blade, he's got Treads, that's how far ahead he is. He's got so much better, such better AoE than Centaur, who has to rely on Return, Double Edge, maybe Hoof Stomp. It's just not as much ability to get a ton of creeps unless you're winning your lane in a big way.
Oh, Limp. He just got revealed. They were smoked up looking for the initiation. It would have been the first reveal of his Yule Scepter, hoping just to get the perfect Yules into level 2 Requiem, because he has level 2 Requiem this early on.
That would have been big, especially if it finds more. That's a guaranteed kill.
Yep. So instead, they need to add pressure elsewhere. So Limp comes into the mid lane. PPD's paralyzing Cask. Does a little bit of problems for Z-Freak's army. And with Zaya sitting behind the tier 1 tower, Spirit Stomp is a real problem for Limp.
It's just really hard for them to actually push against towers right now. They want to dive with the creeps, but if they get Witch Doctor cast, they're stunned for 5 seconds each.
And speaking of that, there goes Kyle. Tried to flank around the back, but he's underneath the Dire Observer Ward. Perfect vision. Moon may stampede to try and have a crack at Pycat. He just used his waveform. Needs more help to make this work. And okay, no, Pycat will have stopped the Centaur. I haven't seen like a Centaur blend this much since the Warcraft 3 nighttime napping. Limp. Okay, not where you want to be. He wants to try and have a crack down towards Pycat. Hoofstomp's going to miss. So does the Burrow Strike from 33. And I say the Hoofstomp from Pycat was the one that really missed.
A big miss there for Optic. They're still outmaneuvering their opponents a little bit, despite farm being the same, but that would have been a huge grab on either of those heroes.
Yep. And the trade-off is the fact that Chessie's getting more and more space. It's allowing him to afford his drums, which he basically has the money for now, and the damage into the tier 2.
Is Gyro just doesn't snowball as hard. Like a drum is going to help him teamfight and get his damage out in the teamfights, but that's about it. Whereas if you look at Morphling, once he gets Linken's and then like an E-Blade, he's going to start one-shotting people. It's way different. Like Gyro needs to like fight and win and set tempo, and this is a Gyro that's like kind of trying to catch up. He's going to have to catch up in team fights, and that's not a good place for Gyro. He can do it.
Speaking of team fights, that SK has a Blink Dagger. He doesn't have his level 2 ultimate, so it's just going to be level 1 Epicenter as he just cracks level 11 now.
I think he's happy with this.
Yeah.
Plenty of damage to deal.
It's just the fact that Complexity rotated almost everybody apart from Chessie in, and Chessie's enjoying this as well.
Yeah.
And he's finally getting some good levels onto this Gyrocopter.
But I feel like coL's in this weird position where they know that they want to pressure, they know they want to set tempo, but it's hard for them to initiate. So they keep moving around the map to try to get these initiations, but the opportunities just aren't there. So they're forced to do these approaches. Kyle gets caught on the previous one. In fact, like they just defend these pushes with like a Witch Doctor and a Death Prophet. And occasionally they rotate heroes over to protect them, like Sand King. And now that the tower's dead, now they're like, all right, let's go back and try for another kill. They missed their last 2. This is maybe the one they can get.
Maybe.
They saw that TP in with their ward here.
You still have Stampede up, so whatever initiation they get has to be right. The Chen army is keeping the top lane pressured. Looks like Z-Freak's going to pull it back to the mid lane, and it's a smoke gank from Complexity. They'll walk underneath that Dire Observer Ward, but they did smoke away from both of the Observer Wards of Optic Gaming. 33 is so close. The smoke is still not breaking, but here comes CCNC. He's the visible one. Chessie gets the information. Limp. You know he would like to use and just point-blank Requiem CCNC.
They don't quite have the vision. All the places that coL warded was all in the Optic Gaming jungle. And as a result, Optic is just not there. They're putting their least important hero there. It's Elder Titan. He can push out this wave safely without getting ganked, and if they do gank him, they don't care.
They make
that's just our Elder Titan.
Moo's adding pressure to the tier 1 tower, but right now it looks like no one's making the move.
I mean, Optic does not want to fight right now. They know that if coL wins a fight, this is their way to get back in the game. This will make up for the fact that Gyro's farm is equaling the Sand Kings and the Death Prophets.
But the money that comes in from these towers is going to allow Moo to reach that Blink Dagger, so then you'll have the jump ability from Complexity. So it's like pick your poison, Optic.
Well, they do have the Yules now in Death Prophet. This may be their timing that they've been waiting for. They wanted one way to keep him alive where he doesn't die.
That's true.
Still no Blink on Centaur.
It would make it also a little bit more difficult for Lim to get that perfect combination and follow, like, actual kill on CC&C, having their second Yules disable.
Almost catches the Chen there with the Yule Scepter, but not able to.
Yeah, and Complexity have just backed up. They need the Blink on Moo.
They do, but it's also daytime now, so it's going to be a little bit harder for them to find initiations. Nighttime certainly gets a lot of benefits there. And here's the Lincolns now for Morphling, so even harder to kill this guy. No lift follow-up. I guess they could always do Spell Steal, Telekinesis to score a kill. It's certainly possible.
Yeah, just not easy. Not until you get like more support items up and running. Like Z-Freak's not going to have those. Like he's going in for the Aghanim Scepter directly for the Chen. No Force Staffs, no nothing like that.
Hey, this is an expensive build. He's got Arcane Boots and Medallion first. I think some players do different things. I think Roger would go Medallion Eggs, Brown Boots kind of a thing. But
well, you did mention that Roshan was on Complexity's hit list. Having that Medallion is going to make Roshan a lot easier for him.
Yeah, that's a great point. See what Optic Gaming goes next item-wise. Maybe, I don't know if Death Prophet Hood is crazy or not.
I love Peter. Check the trees, Peter. Check the trees.
It's
Someone's got to be here defending, right? Nope, it's a straight tier 2 for tier 2 tower trade. All of Complexity are on top. And with their lineup, they do push faster than Optic will. Because it's more sustained push. Right now, it's CC&C using his Exorcism to get that pressure on.
That's a really good point. Now that they've seen this, maybe this will be coL wanting to take another fight. In which case, Optic would either have to fight it without Exorcism, or maybe just dodge fights, but they don't want to lose towers either. And coL's map control is pretty solid here.
The Dire Scan came out. They're thinking Roshan. ET Spirit's moving over as well underneath the... Okay, they came for the tier 1 tower. That's where CC&C is.
It's just really hard to take a Rosh fight when they still have a tier 1.
Yeah.
Easier TP. Much better than the Shrine. So I mean, they'd love to take the tower, but still got. It looks like they have a tree on their team. This thing's still so healthy.
And the aggressive vision. It was too obvious that ward was going to be placed, so Optic get rid of it. The Blink still waiting for the right time. Exorcism on cooldown for 83 seconds. The Burrow Strike onto coL. He actually stalled himself. He needs to get out this one. Hand of God plus the Stampede. Complexity close the distance. They look for PPD in the tree line. The Death Ward does some really good work, but they need a little bit more. Finally, PPD will fall, but in they go. Oh, the stun! Z-Freak locks him down. Pycat came in, but here's 33 with the epicenter damage. Complexity don't want to find it. ET buys back. That Spirit Stomp needs to be perfect. Chessie turns around because he's being sent back home. Keeps the attention of Optic just long enough for Z-Freak to complete his own TP. 33, only a fraction of a second too late to connect with the Burrow Strike.
A very close fight there. I thought Optic Gaming was going to lose it for sure, with Death Prophet getting initiated on and then burst it down. I mean, they got a Rubik in exchange, but
the Golden Experience change really is not that different, especially with when you consider the buyback from the ET.
Yeah, that's true. Not that big of a swing, but certainly got to be scary for Optic there, having no Exorcism. And he does go for the typical Medallion build on Death Prophet. Here's the replay here. They found coL just south of the tower here, looking like an opportunity. Helps also that the SF Yules was already used, but it's actually a lift first. Maledict, that is a dead man. But
yeah, the Hand of God kept him alive long enough that he could actually commit his own Burrow Strike, which was a nice element. And that's what we're talking about with Complexity, where they've got ways of either disengaging or just engaging like they did. The Stampede, the Hand of God giving such huge life.
Yeah, buys them a little time. But either way, on these initiations, they have to be careful. If Zai's prepared and he has a Spirit down, he can totally break the counter initiation and turn the fight around the other way.
Yep. And Pycat's still becoming a beast. Like, he's got the Ghost Scepter up and running. He's walking around with, like, looking for the Eagle Song pickup. Vision on the hill does not belong to anybody. coL belongs to Optic Gaming. The optimistic sent back by his brother Z-Freak.
Yeah, he belongs to the fountain right now. Morphling is a mere, 1,500 gold away from Eagle Song. He's going to have his E-Blade in a moment. And once that comes up, things get even scarier.
Yep.
Played the last fight really well, stole Gyro with Morph, and then grabbed Flat Cannon. At that point, can just tank damage as a Gyro.
The Mud Golems are coming in. Multiple shards. The Tornado is going to make life a little bit more difficult as well, but Roshan, 1,500. Oh, he's dropping real quick. They do not have a way to stop that one.
And very safely, 3-3 is going to cover and ensure they get the Aegis with the Burrow Strike.
Yep.
And again, Optic Gaming using Exorcism in a way that seems like an opening for coL. But because they got an Aegis with it now, it's even scarier.
Yep.
And he doesn't even grab the Aegis. He doesn't care. Like, puts it on Pycat. He knows that if Pycat just keeps catapulting to the to a big farm level, that it will lead to Optic victory.
Complexity will have better ways to fight in the next engagement. The BKB is coming out in the Courier to Limp. He has a TP scroll available as well to head north. BKB for the Gyrocopter. So the 2 big calls with 10-second BKBs.
That's a nice benefit for coL.
And there's no Exorcism again when Optic Gaming are forcing down the lane, and they smoke. They're coming for the fight. Mu, Card, and Limp will make their way up through the river while Chessie and Z-Freak hold the lane. And Optic Gaming are putting everybody in here. They're checking the trees. Zai putting out the Spirit. They feel something.
Their positioning is really solid, actually. Put all the squishy heroes in the back lines that hide Peter in the trees, and then they put Zai to the right. He's got 1,700 HP right now, and they put 3-3 in the back to counter-initiate and prep for epicenter initiation.
Everyone's TPing. Mu. Oh, he's so close! He's so close!
That would have been a huge catch there.
Oh, but he put himself in the trees, not in the path.
I mean, either way, they're not going to want to fight. So even if he gets caught there, it's not the end of the world for him, but
yeah,
he'd much prefer to slap creeps, guarantee that they don't get a good team fight. Not have to buy back all that good stuff.
Well, it bought time. 34 seconds now before Exorcism, and that means Optic will definitely try and make the most out of it.
It's E-Blade time.
It is E-Blade time. So
on the bright side,
who's the pop? It's coL, right? Like Kyle's the pop.
He's only got 3 points in Adaptive Strike. So for a brief moment, it's not as bad as it can get. Kyle or Z-Freak for sure. The Chen is a little bit easier, I would say.
Mu, Burrow Strike actually gets onto Chessie. The Paralyzing Cast being taken down. Now back up the creep wave for Chessie. Turns on the BKB, focusing onto PPD with a call down hit. PPD will fall. 33 in a bad position as well. And here comes Z-Freak. Slow them up. Back CNC. He turns on the Exorcism. Mu sent back to base. A lot of time wasted, but the E-Blade pop. Chessie is the first receiver of it. And Kyle just wants to run.
It's a great team fight for coL there, but it just resulted in them getting Witch Doctor. If they catch Sand King as well, that's going to be good, but there wasn't detection in time. Probably nobody else fast enough to catch up to the Sand King after that initiation. Maybe Mu need to have a dust in his profile.
Would be nice for now. He's just focusing on the core items. Mid-tier 2 tower. Exorcism makes short work of it. Gyro's still down for a little bit longer, but Optic will not force the issue. The top lane is being pushed in by Z-Freak, adding that same side lane pressure we've seen from Nature's Prophets, but he's doing it with the Chen.
And they get 2 benefits out of their little team fight there. They still haven't lost their tier 1 mid tower. It's got 144 HP. They could deny it. They're not going to. They don't care. They just want to make sure that it's up for teleport reasons, for map control. This is like the big obelisk that's holding coL back from snowballing this game. Like, they're still being pretty close in farm. Their BKBs are really good timed and are giving them the potential to win these fights. But if Optic can just kite until those BKBs end, somebody's getting E-bladed.
Complexity are coming for the fight. Limp is the man who is exposed. 33, that's a juicy initiation. He jumps in, but the whole stop is the back lines. Zai gets caught, but Limp exploded. Pycat just arrives. Tessie's got some good flat cannon damage, but they're chasing Zai all the way up into the trees. It's taking so long to kill off a support, and they haven't even got the kill.
Way.
33 is here for the Burrow Strike. Zai turns for Splitter, and Chessie is toast. So many heroes surround, and so many heroes celebrate his death.
Oh, I can't believe that Elder Titan stayed alive there. It was a great initiation by Mu to counter-initiate, stop the hoof stomp, or the echo stomp that is, but they just couldn't get him. He's picked up a Vanguard now with that vid booster. It looked like he was going to go for the Urn of Shadows upgrade, but instead he's going straight for Crimson Guard. And once they get that, Flat Cannon actually does almost no damage. It's going to damage block like 50% or so of the flak damage Gyro throws out. And then it's going to be even harder for coL to actually win these team fights. They're like choosing the right targets, but the fact that SF dies right at the start makes it so difficult. And it could have also been a Morphling kill. Morphling actually blew himself up with his waveform because he was right on top of the Shadow Fiend when he died. But Aegis pays off, and that just becomes a huge trade for Optic Gaming.
Oh boy. Optic. They're actually wrapping around. PBE is going to get that aggressive ward in mid. They see that Mu is practically alone in the lane, but they're not going to do anything with it. It's a straight TP out. Roshan will potentially respawn in 3 minutes' time. You have Pycat now farming up his BKB for the next engagement. So a lot of this magical damage and control is going to go out the window.
And Sand King on the bot lane is in a lot of trouble here. Getting lifted, nuked by Limp, but finally the stuns end and he's able to burst strike away.
Oh, wait, what? He sandstormed before he burrow striked. So he sandstormed it as he stole the burrow strike.
I think what he tried to do was he tried to steal and instantly stun because he knew he didn't have a lot of time, and he pressed burrow a little, or sand a little too early. Possibly confused himself. I'm not sure though.
I moved
have
forward.
to check the moment. Either way, good attempt at a gank, but 3-3 stays alive. He's got a hood of his own, actually, queuing up a pipe, and they are just aiming for this position where coL cannot win the team fight. coL's going to need to get a bunch of damage items, and if Optic Gaming keeps grabbing these defensive things like Crimson Guard and Pipe, it's going to be so hard for them to burst through heroes like Death Prophet.
Crimson Guard, Pipe, BKB, like CCNC looks... it's like the Death Prophet we had in our previous games. Like, oh, okay, well, surprise Shiva's Garden Resolution. Okay, how do you kill this guy? You don't. You did a casual Vit booster just to kick him up to just over 1800 HP.
Probably for the Aeon Disc, most likely. Make sure he can't be blown up right away. Or that if he gets initiated on by Centaur, for example, they're forced to use a second stun to follow up. All of those things are hard for coL right now. They can't really just spread these Centaur stuns and get a stun canceled and still be in a good place. Morphling's got BKB too now.
Z-Freak has his Aghanim Scepter, so the Ancient Granite Golem is now there to fight for the cause.
That's good. And it's going to be great for split pushing, but I'm not sold on it really helping their team fights too much here. Unless they get like the dragon one that lowers armor. That could be good against Morphling, for example. But
unfortunately, he had no choice. It was the only thing left that Complexity didn't kill in their own Ancients.
Either way, it's good. Extra HP, good things. Maybe if he gets a ton of levels, he's only level 10 right now. But he's grabbed this experienced talent. You know, that could make him something incredible eventually. I could see some magic resistance creeps being grabbed this game. Against Sand King, against Maldic Witch Doctor, against Morphling, against Elder Titan. Magic resistance auras are literally what coL needs this game.
They just need the money to actually afford it. Right now, Optic, they're prepping around the mid. Chen's brought the army to the north. We can always TP back, and this is where we expect Z-Freak to make a lot of space for his team.
Yep, and he's going to do it. Push creeps with creeps, bring them back when it's time, and
hey, bought time for Moo, right?
Safe.
Like, he's got his Blink, Force, and Pipe. So you asked for that resistance. You've got it in some way.
Yes, but Centaur also has no armor, and his agility gain is atrocious right now. He's not a very agile, giant Centaur war runner.
It's like, how do you counter this? Like, do you actually think about like, is Blade Mail still even viable on a Centaur? It's
never really been that great. It could be good against Morphling. If the E-Blade comes, you can reflect it. But what's going to happen is Centaur's going to jump in and stun somebody, and everybody's going to be like, all right, you've done your thing, Centaur. We will now mess with your team. It's very difficult. Like, you can easily look at Centaur and match him up against Sand King and be like, why would I pick Centaur?
Optic's coming back. It's a double damage rune on the Morphling, so now Chen can just... Oh, he'll save the Granite Golem. Everything else is dead, but the jump forward, they saw the TP out. CCNC, they don't have anything to cancel him. BKB, defensive TP out. That was the 10-second, but you're still happy with that. They check Roshan quickly. He's almost up. 22 seconds, and Roshan is alive.
I think Optic can defend this, though. The CC instantly buys a salve to get out of the fountain a little bit faster. This means that they can get to the Roche area.
And 33 is pushing bottom lane as well, so if Complexity don't defend this, they get attacked from multiple sides.
Yeah, it's really good timing on this here. Again, do they still have a turn? No, it's actually dead, turns out, but I was going to say, they can always TP and arrive a little bit late, perhaps, to defend their...
Yeah, someone's going to be sent back. Like, maybe that's actually just what you do. You just send Z-Freak back. No, limp. He'll TP out, actually. Top lane, trouble for Moo. He managed to get the pipe up, but I don't know if that's going to be enough protection. Hand of God as well.
That would have been a great time for Blade Mail, but that does not mean Blade Mail is the item necessarily. I'm not sure necessarily what Moo gets here. He needs armor, he needs more survivability. Maybe
he needs to be alive.
That would help, because now this is a Roche.
Yeah, Complexity are fully aware that Roshan's up. The Chen army was in there, so Z-Freak gave them the information, but without the Centaur, they can't contest. So they have to wait it out. The only thing they can really do is add pressure to the side lanes and the mid lane. That way, you at least have a little bit more time while Optic get control of the map before they push. Because they'll also have to wait. Exorcism will be down for 2 minutes.
I think they're fine in this moment. They've still got BKB, so if anybody gets put in a bad position, Optic should be able to defend themselves. And they might just go push anyways. This is kind of what they've been doing all game.
Well, Zai's found a target. Stomp is coming out. Kyle has no escape. He only got that Crypt Swarm stolen. And the Burrow Strike, damn, that Stomp lasts forever. Kyle just caught napping.
Not much that he's going to be able to do there. And like Optic just looks at DP and they say, I'm going to use this for one objective, and then afterwards, we're just going to fight you anyways. They've like grabbed other heroes that are so good at fighting that doesn't matter if they don't have exorcism. And so far, it's paid off.
Yep, here they come. 33 triggers the pipe, full stomp forward. They look to jump in. Shadow Fiend winding up the ultimate. Morphling won't say goodbye to the Aegis. More PPD, also so low on life. Lip was protected by his BKB as Pycat fighting at the tower 33. He FB's in it, but his Blink Dagger was on cooldown. He couldn't get to the front lines.
They got wrecked. Wasn't a big deal. Morphling started morphing as soon as that Centaur ulti came in. He did that perfectly. But he still got one shot by the Shadow Fiend with the Yule's ulti combo. BKB's popped as well, and at that point, Optic can't really stop things from happening. They did buy themselves some time. Peter drops ulti, but it felt pretty useless.
He was so close as well, like the amount of damage he took. He was at 10% after Requiem was done.
Yeah. And just, I don't know, he needs to like Maledict, Cask, and walk away. I don't think ultimate was in the cards in that moment.
Yeah.
But it's hard to know that. I think it's going to be clear now that his ultimate, unless he Maledicts somebody and has a good positioning, it's not going to be time to drop the base anymore.
Complexity need to get a little bit more space right now. They're looking for it. Moo, jump in, actually dodges 33's initiation. They burnt the Linker Spear onto Pycat, so they put the penitence on him, but the stomp, Zai, 4
Big
heroes
save.
put to sleep.
That was so big. Guarantees Morphling doesn't die. He's at JK. Morphling's like, I actually want to fight. I'm interested.
Nah.
He's got 4,000 HP though, so that means no shotgun at the moment. It'll be a bit until he's ready for that one. CC's still not fully healed either. Queuing up a Blink Dagger to make team fighting a little bit better for him. I do like how he bought the casual Vitality Booster and then is shifting into other items. It's very cool. Because he's certainly got the survivability items he needs, but just a little bit more raw HP and he sits in a safer place. Pretty cool. Maybe he'll buy something. Maybe he's just going to go Heart. I'm not sure. We'll see.
Fire Strike into Stomp. Limps Yule Scepter will protect him. Doesn't want to burn the BKB, so he just Yules and blinks out.
That was a send back, actually. I was also looking for a blink. Wow, he blinked really far.
Yeah.
All the way back to Fountain.
Massive. Actually, did he? It looks like he used both. Because he had the blink animation and the send back.
I imagine he probably used blink to dodge damage. Maybe he didn't see the send back, for example. Stuff like that. Definitely possible.
That was definitely the animation of blink. So we're not nuts.
Good for him.
Yay. Safety first. Chessie's pushing out the top lane. This seems to be the name of the game right now. Like, Morphling just gets huge. Continues to get huge. He's got enough money almost to buy the Skadi.
That's going to be a good place to be as well. Just because he's still a little vulnerable to chain initiation, and some of the disables are heavy. Skadi just across the board, more survivability. CC
the line's drawn to move east, Complexity Smoke Gank.
Okay, they've got Burrow Strike. This is a pretty good time. So Kyle's initiation, he's got like 4 seconds of disable here, but he's coming up the cliff against enemy heroes.
They'll have to get the perfect hoof stomp. The one thing that actually sends Pyke out without worrying about, okay, Observer Ward's a real nice move. Hoof stomps in, goes to Witch Doctor, the E-Blade pop, it's onto the Centaur. Fire Strike follow-up too, but Limps in the neighborhood. Don't know if they really want to get involved in this one. The Death Ward moves sent back. It's at the right time. Trouble, however, for the Chen as CCNC, BKB to Nexusism. They have the damage to get the kill, but where's the follow-up? It's not there. The top tier 3 tower was pushed in so far because Chessie never came. So Complexity get Optic Gaming to force the BKBs, and the only thing they get in return is Z-Freak.
Which is really good trade there for coL. Sent back the Centaur instantly knowing that he was in trouble is a great initiation, but they just didn't have the follow-up there.
Exorcism's running out. Gyrocopter is actually taking this tier 3 tower. They have to TP back. Zai is going to be the man to do it. Earn charges up. Wants to keep the chase going over on Chessie, but BKB TP. And that's going to be all that she wrote.
By far the safest way to play that there for Chessie. Kind of sucks to use BKB, but ultimately the right move in the moment.
It's already pretty low anyway. That was his 7-second BKB. He burned.
Yeah, definitely better. They accomplished something.
Yeah. Chessie's getting so much money in as well. All right, so let's have a quick look at this again. So this is that Shadow Fiend moment. Yule Scepter to dodge out. Send back in process, and blink, boom! And that is how you go half of the map in distance.
Yeah, it's a really cool combo if you think about it, right? Because the send back takes 3 seconds. Yule's is 2.5, so as long as you get sent back and you press your Yule's, you're probably going home. CC changing up his build a little.
Fire Strike, they're going after Moon. They just got the double damage route onto Pycat. So much damage for Chessie. He turns on the cooldown. He needs more help, Pycat. He is such a beast when he then switches into being the Gyrocopter with the flat cannon damage. It's so much the Complexity had to disengage, but this is where Stampede is good. They all get out safely. The trap was sprung, but no one got snapped.
Kind of surprised that he switched to Gyro there. I feel like he should have just stayed because once he swapped, I'm not sure if he still had Scotty or not, but felt like everybody just walked away from him and he didn't do that much damage. Maybe he'd been playing Gyro too much, that he's like, I actually want to play Gyro every game. I don't care who I'm playing right now. And these guys are running for their lives.
Yep. They needed to get TP scrolls, which means they needed to hit the side shop. CC, his Eul Scepter was already on cooldown.
Yeah. So he changes his build a little bit, going Solar Crest, standard transition, and then he's going to instead go for Octarine instead of the...
Pycat?
No, I'm talking about CC.
I'm thinking Pycat for solo kill on Zfreak.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He was chasing him as he deep-warded. But now you'll have... okay. Wait, no! He dodges with the waveform! Keep the run going! No, okay, 33. He's there for the Burrow Strike.
That's pretty cool. It's one way to dodge a spell, tunnel into the ground.
Yeah, but now Rubik is dead again. Exorcism is off cooldown. And that push on top lane this time is nowhere near as threatening. They don't have the creep wave in mid, but they've got it on bottom with the double catapult. So complexity. They're TPing back the reinforcements. Fortifications buying time. Moo with a double hoof stomp. They actually forced off CC in very deep with a Burrow Strike. 33 hits the money with the waveform forward lip, winding up the ultimate. He's trying to repair the damage, but both Pycat and well as CC and C were protected by their BKBs. So the bottom lane of Rax, Optic have cracked it.
They finally won a team fight with Exorcism still going. And it really just took BKBs at the right time there. coL was forced to react.
Exorcism is running out now. They've lost their push.
They might take one more tower before they get out. There's 2 dead heroes left. They can maybe continue this. See how greedy Optic want to try to be.
Moo, he's in there. Limp with the razors. He's got 36 souls ready to go. Has to Eul Scepter to dodge the E-Blade attack. Kyle right in the middle. He can't really do much apart from die and grab. But this now with more heroes and including the Shadow Fiend with no buyback available, Moo just has to 4-man stomp to slow things down, but he'll be sacrificing his life, and perhaps with it, the game buyback is available, but you just don't have the damage.
And that is all that Centaur can do. Jump in, stun, double edge.
They're actually going to try and finish it now.
It's 3 dead heroes. There's no buyback on Shadow Fiend. They can bring Centaur back, but we saw his contribution. How's he going to combo with a Chen?
Without call down as well. They don't have that big AoE. Flat cannons up.
He's got BKB, but he's trying to hold it out. And Morphling's trying to get him to bait it.
It's just missile spam. At least you got a lot of life on that center when you got the Ancient Granite Golem, but now Hoof Stomp, well, they got it onto the Morphling, but will he go down? The Penitence is there. Chessie needs more damage. Pycat, oh, the BKB is up. Kyle, he wants to go for a grab. What does he actually end up stealing? Okay, yeah, you can steal Morph. That's a nice thing to keep himself alive. Shadow Fiend's almost alive. Optic, they've taken the tier 4 towers, but they haven't finished the game just yet. So they waveform out and retreat. Roshan spawns up in 2.5 minutes. And they can start taking out shrines. Man,
Optic knows exactly what they can get away with here. And they take the tier 4s, huge gold advantage shrines, and now everything is just looking Optic. 24k? That is so much. It's like Death Prophet finishes her item, and she's almost ready to buy another one. Sure, everybody on that team is looking at that. Butterfly almost for Morphling now. They're so happy.
Advantage for complexity. The catapults are killing the tier 3 tower up on top. Zai won't get there in time to stop it. Okay, they're going to fortify to save it.
Definitely a wise move here.
Yep. So they do get rid of the catapults. And you can realize the position complexity feels in when you look at Chessie's quick buy. That's a Divine Rapier in the mix once more.
He's not that close though, so it's going to be a bit till they can get there. But I mean, everybody on Optic has so many items. The exception, standard, of PPD here. Just playing with Drum Tranquils. But the amount of movement speed advantage it gives you in a team fight is huge. But everybody else on his team is very happy. Even Zai's super farmed. Euls and Force and Crimson Guard. They've got all these ways to keep people alive.
Optic still at the end of that double damage room. Moo jumps in, gets the Hoof Stomp, Lim winds up, CC&C almost going down to that. So gets the BKB off, but Pycat turns into the Gyro once more. PPD's Death Ward, forcing Moo away. 33 doesn't have Burrow Strike, just the epicenter slow on Moo. He's being sent back and protected by the Lincoln Sphere, but it leaves Zfreak exposed on the front lines and brought down for almost a minute.
And they get the gem as well, if they'll find it in the trees. coL's on the verge of defeat here. If they lose their cores one more time, they're not going to have money for buybacks, so they've got to play and turtle really hard. They've got no DP ulti at least.
Yeah, but they don't really need it unless something like this happens. 33's in pretty deep. He's almost down, 4 staffed out, still alive on 420 HP. Didn't actually realize he's got 2.5k, but with the stomp into the splitter, this is gonna hurt. It's backbreaking, and GG, well played. Optic is calling it. You don't actually have it out from complexity. Yep, but there it is. GG, good luck further. Optic Gaming will advance into the quarterfinals, the playoffs of the Bucharest Major by PGL.
It's got to feel tough for coL there. They started 2-1 in the group stage. They looked like they were on the verge of qualifying, but they lost their earlier match today and now losing the game against their rivals, Optic Gaming. We constantly see these guys match up in the NA region, and today Optic's got to be happy. This guarantees them top 8. Not enough for DPC points, but the first road of their journey towards potentially getting them, and boy did they play good. They played practically flawlessly. I felt like I saw almost no errors. They drafted well. They felt like they constantly knew what coL was going to do. Maybe this is just a they play coL thing all the time thing, so they knew where they'd be. But they really stabilized well. They used their exorcisms constantly. Felt like they didn't make any team fight decision to go high ground sort of mistakes. Every decision seemed like the right thing to do.
Yeah, like we kept talking about like exorcism being burnt all the time by CCNC, but every time it was done, it was to get a kill, potentially two, and a possible following objective. But even if it didn't happen, it was still Optic getting a good trade every single time they burned it. So, and they always played around it. Like I can't remember a time when I looked at CCNC and said, he has exorcism up for a while. Like they were always fighting, they were always going in, because we can have a quick look back at the game as well.
I mean, the crucial part of the game was basically the try versus try lane and some of these mid fights. They needed to make sure, Optic had to make sure they didn't get stomped here, especially without exorcism in some of these moments, and they made it work. They took some casualties, but very often they turned things around. Great PPD, ultimate guarantees the Rubik death.
Always Pycat living.
And Morphling here trying to blow up the Shadow Fiend.
It is crazy. Like, I think Pycat died once, and that was because he had an Aegis. Every other time he was able to survive. He was 10-0-5 at the end of that. He did 32,000 damage. Almost the same amount of damage as CCNC, Zion 33 combined. You switch one of those guys out and put PPD instead, and then you actually have Pycat doing more damage. But this is just that role of the Morphling, what he was able to do every time choosing Chessie to copy.
And Zai barely being able to stay alive. Just incredible here. I think 3-3 had a wonderful game as well. Great laning stage. Had maybe one or two ganks that were small mistakes, but if you can barely notice errors on a player, it's a very good sign here. Yeah.
I think Optic are going to be very happy moving forward with this, because they have to find out who their opponent's going to be during the quarterfinals. But no matter who they go up against, they'll still look at this game and have a lot of confidence.
Absolutely. This was like the one team fight that didn't go so great for them, but they very wisely realized it, and they all escaped at the right time. And Zai helping to slow things down. Finally,
and this was the big nail in the coffin.
Yeah, Rubik dead. They ended up getting a gank off on him.
And Moo, the amount of times he initiated and thought, I've got this, but that 33 Burrow strike, that just made it so it was impossible to really escape. The E-Blade pop, it's like Chen really had no influence in this game. Either it was going to be one of the brothers that would actually just pop. It'll be Z-Freak or Kyle. One of them was going to die to Pycat at the start of the fight.
I think he did a great job of making sure that when they did lose fights, it was only ever one, maybe two heroes. Like, he saved tons and tons of heroes, but I agree, he needed the laning stage to go better. They had to be more influential to shut down the Morphling a little bit, and that didn't happen, just due to strong Optic play. And in the mid game, they had to get these ganks off on the Death Prophet, and they certainly tried, but it was very hard for them to dive under the tower without their opponents predicting it, seeing it coming, and being ready to defend against it.
It's when you expected SF to actually have more of an influence. Like, he was shredding that lane in CS, and then CCNC just teams up. Like, as far as a 5-man squad, maybe this is also a reason why we've seen Elder Titan being banned out consistently as well in the second half of this group stage.
He makes SF look a lot squishier. Lowers all of his base armor from agility, of which he bought a few items. Like, I guess it was just like Lincoln's drum maybe, but lower magic resistance, amplifies the damage you take. If he doesn't have BKB active and he lands a stomp on you, you're guaranteed dead pretty much. You can use the ultimate or splitter against him as well. There's just a lot of great hero picks on Optic's side that made them so confident of teamfight that they didn't even need exorcism. So I think the craziest stat on the scoreboard, in my opinion, is how much damage CC did in the fight. He actually did less than Elder, which is not the weirdest. Elder does do sometimes a lot of damage, but he didn't simply do much hero damage, but I felt like he was a crucial part of so many fights. His building damage was 6k. Morphling obviously blows past that in the late game, but I think CC played really well. The fact that he didn't die endlessly or was constantly knowing where coL was going to be, I thought that was huge. But
are you thinking him for MVP?
I think I still have to give it to Pycat, though.
Pycat was amazing.
It's hard to say.
But it really feels like Pycat's on his money. 33 is Like, he's getting all the support they required. Their draft was just really well played out. It was like the problem on day one. Everyone's just functioning as such a great 5-man squad. It's hard to give an MVP to just one.
Maybe
but
Zai.
we're pushed, so we give it to PyCat. He's 10-0-5 with 32,000 damage, 377 last hits, and the perfect.
Yeah, basically my thought of it is that the parts of the game that Optic could lose were the try versus try situation. PyCat did not make mistakes there. He played that well, as did his supports. And the other place where they could have lost was the early mid game with CCNC on the mid lane. If he gets ganked and the tower dies, completely changes this game. But PyCat played extremely well. He farmed well. He got the perfect items. He used them effectively. I guess I give the nudge to PyCat for that, but I think Zai also played amazing. I think him and Peter tri-laning well. I think it's more on the supports than it is the Morph lane to not make big mistakes in the laning stage because you are the vulnerable one. So the fact that they helped win the tri-lane, I think, was also massive.
Yeah.
Massive.
Now, terrific performance overall by Optic Gaming that does advance them into the quarterfinal. Our next game coming up, we will definitely want to get into it as quickly as we possibly can. So we'll go straight to a break and come back with TNC versus Na'Vi, our final game of the Swiss format.